Good afternoon there. It is Wednesday, October 30th. I am just now leaving Ho-Chuk Shelter. Just climbed Ho-Chuk Mountain, about like 12 miles into my day today. I'm in New Jersey. Crossed in yesterday. Getting close to PA and the rocks. I'm actually starting to get a little taste of what's upcoming. It's been fairly rocky today, going over Wawayanda Mountain and then Ho-Chuk Mountain. But I've heard from High Point south to Duncannon, it's pretty rough. So kind of preparing myself mentally for what's upcoming. Yeah, I'm moving right along. Since I last updated, I went over Bear Mountain. That day went up West Mountain, I think is the mountain you go up after Bear. Yeah, West Mountain. There's a really cool ridge line up there, and I pitched my tent up on the ridge facing east. My tent, which is a 6 Moon Design Lunar Solo, is really cool in that you can sort of pull the vestibule back and sort of get this like vista view on one whole side of the tent and still have the protection above and behind you for wind and precipitation if it comes. So I went ahead and did that, and it was so cool, man. I slept like that. It was kind of cool, or kind of cold that night, but it wasn't too bad. You know, I was warm inside my bag. But yeah, I woke up the next day to the sun coming up and got a bunch of good pictures of it, and yeah, just kind of dozed in and out as the sun was coming up. But yeah, that was cool. And then that day, I actually pushed a long day, and I think it was like 25, maybe even more. I can't remember right now. But yeah, it was pretty long day. Went through the lemon squeezer, which was pretty cool. It's like this big rock structure, or not structure, but two rocks that are really close to each other creates this narrow passage that the trail runs through. I like to have done a video there, but my phone was dead. I had like 2% battery, which isn't enough to film one of these videos. The recorder won't even work. So yeah. Anyway, so I made it to Greenwood Lake. Lake that day. Pulled in like just as it was getting dark, and I had planned on just going into town, charging up my stuff somewhere, and maybe getting something to eat, and then just camping like right outside of town. They've got like there's a Blue Blaze that goes right into the downtown area. Can't remember what it's called, Village Vista Trail or something like that. There's a little .8 Blue Blaze, so I was figuring I would just camp up there. But Greenwood Lake's cool, man. The locals there are really hiker friendly, and one guy actually offered to let me camp in his yard, and another guy was telling me about different places to tent. I ended up pitching my tent at the suggestions of one of the locals there, and yeah, just great experience there. Great little town. So yeah, I did that first night, and then scooped up my mail drop, my second mail drop from Lady the next day, which was another spot on through hiker friendly mail drop. Lady put all kinds of good stuff in there. She put what did she put in there, man? Tons of candy bars. So I got my Halloween candy early. She put like peanut butter, like these little smoothies things that were delicious, like 5-hour energies. Bunch of donuts. Got a bunch of donuts, and then her delicious creations, dehydrated dinners. So yeah, well done, lady. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's greatly appreciated on my part. Good stuff. Then yeah, ended up doing like a half, I guess you can call it a Nero. I did like a half day in town, and then did like 8 miles out and crossed into New Jersey. Stayed at Wawayanda shelter last night. Camped out with a couple of northbound section hikers who were really cool. One of their so one of them had already done the whole trail in sections, or maybe it was a through hike. I can't really recall. She's done the whole trail before, and she just really likes hiking. And her and her friend are out for a section to, I think they're headed north to Bear Mountain. Can't remember where they started, but they're out for like 5 days. But the woman who had done the trail before, her son through hiked as well in '98, Leaf. And after he did so, he started the website Trail Journals, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, hung out with those ladies and had some good conversation. And I think they're from like New Hampshire and Maine. But yeah, we had sort of an odd situation though when we got there yesterday. I pulled up and somebody had strung a hammock across in the shelter, taking up like 3/4 of the space in the shelter. I think it was like an 8-man shelter. And just there, you know, it looked like somebody was there. There was gear everywhere. There was food and books and water bottles and trash, socks, laundry, just kind of strewn everywhere, taking up like 3/4 of the shelter. And the ladies, when I got there, they were the only other people that I saw there, and they were setting up their tents down a little bit away. And I asked them if it was one of them that was in there, and they said, no, we're not sure whose that is. And yeah, that particular shelter, the water source is like 0.1 further up trail, and then you have to take a Blue Blaze 0.2 from there to the state park office, or the ranger office. And I just figured maybe somebody was over there. First thing I did is look at the shelter journal, and there was an entry from, what was his name? Dionysus the Poet King is how he signs. And his entry was talking about how he was reading Oscar Wilde and meditating, and one of the books that was strewn among that person's stuff was a book on meditation, and the Oscar Wilde book was there, and you know, we deduced that Dionysus was the person who was in the shelter. But over the course of the evening yesterday, it got dark and never showed, and you know, I stayed in the shelter and was kind of sleeping with one eye open, you know, expecting somebody to eventually roll in and get into this hammock, maybe clean up some of their stuff that's strewn everywhere. I almost rounded up all the stuff, the food stuff at least, in the pack, because the pack obviously wasn't a thru hiker pack. It was open, first off, and you could see in it, and you could see what was in it. Inside of it was a huge pot, and among the stuff that was strewn everywhere was like a sack of potatoes. You could tell it wasn't a thru hiker or a long distance backpacker for that matter. It seemed like somebody who was just setting up shop at a shelter, which is kind of odd because there's a ranger station so close to that shelter. But yeah, I was kind of waiting on somebody to roll in, and never did. So we woke up this morning, and we were kind of chatting about it. So we went ahead and we looked in the pack, in one of the outside pockets, and actually found an ID for a young man from Arkansas, like a 23-year-old guy, which was kind of an odd thing. And the ladies were headed north, and they were going to go get water at the ranger station. So they took the ID and they brought it over to the ranger station. And as I was getting ready to leave camp, over walks the section maintainer and a shelter maintainer, and he had the ID and he put it back in the pack, and you know, sort of the rangers and the section maintainer are kind of on it. I mean, they're gonna find him, or hopefully they're gonna find him. They had said that they heard someone was at one of the establishments nearby looking for work for stay. So maybe Dionysus is just down the road doing work for stay. Maybe he didn't want to sleep in the cold any longer, or I don't know, maybe he's searching for extra motivation or inspiration for his poems. Don't know, but yeah, those guys are on it, I guess. Or yeah, I mean, if anybody watching these videos knows that person, let him know, you know, he left a few things behind. I did take pictures of the ID with the, you know, personal information kind of blocked out. And I took a picture of the shelter entry, and I also took a picture of the stuff. I was thinking maybe I'd post it on like the Facebook page or something, and see if anybody recognizes that person, that entry, or that stuff. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I mean, took the pictures, so might as well. But yeah, that's that. That's done and over with. I'll let the people who are charged with handling those things handle it, and I'm gonna keep on hiking. Yeah, I'm like 12 into my day today. Oh yeah, found this sweet American flag on trail today, so I went ahead and threw it on my pack. Hiking along with that. It looked like rain earlier, but it's starting to clear up now, which is very, very nice. I'm glad, because while I was in Greenwood Lake, I got a message from Slip saying, "Hey man, when you get to High Point, New Jersey, give me a call." I knew he was from around here, well, I knew he was from PA, just not sure exactly where. But yeah, I got that message from him, and he said New Jersey 206 is the road that you're going to want to aim for. And I looked ahead, and it was 40 miles from this shelter that I stayed at last night. And High Point Shelter is like 24 miles. So this shelter that I just passed is about the halfway point. I'm aiming for High Point. There's a good chance I'll hike into the night tonight, but it's worth it. It's worth it to sort of chip those miles away. So I've got a 16 to do tomorrow. Get out early because it's supposed to rain tomorrow afternoon, and I'd prefer to be done hiking by the time it rains, because being wet in these pseudo low temperatures is not desirable. So yeah, meeting up with Slip. He said he's got a futon waiting for me, which sounds awesome. Hopefully I'll be able to do some laundry and wash my socks. Man, I need it. I've got one pair I'm on my second pair of socks right now. I've been hiking for like 4 days on these. But they are, my other pair are like rock hard. I really need to wash them. But yeah, my feet were hurting. I was talking about it in the last update video. They're improving, so that's good. They're healing up. I don't know what was the catalyst for that change. I did, so the insoles on these boots, or on all of these Salomon shoes, are not that great, and the layers kind of peel up. I had some tape wrapped around it, and I was thinking maybe that had something to do with the sort of mid-foot like pain. It wasn't pain, it was like blistering almost, but it was like deep tissue blister. So I went ahead and just pulled the tape off, pulled that top layer off, and I'm just walking on the foam layer now, and it actually feels pretty good. I feel like I got a little bit more room in the shoe around that area, but most importantly, my feet aren't killing me at night, so I can actually sleep. So yeah, that's what's up with that. Yeah, feeling good. This terrain up here is looking good. The first 12 miles of the day today was the difficult 12 miles. I don't even know if I'd call it difficult. It really wasn't all that tough, just kind of knocked it out. I guess that's the advantage of going southbound. That's what Lady was saying. I was talking to her saying that, you know, they say New York is supposed to be difficult with a lot of ups and downs, but I don't know. I just kind of click it into high gear and just kind of power up and down them. But yeah, that's what I got going on tomorrow. I guess I will be off trail for Halloween, so who knows what I'll be doing. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later.